I know you are not happy. I'm also not happy. Majority of the Ghanaians are not happy because we have been disgraced, not necessarily by the scores, but by the toothless performance of the Black Stars against Colombia. I am very saddened. I am very, very not happy this morning. You understand? Because I believe that as a country and as the footballing nation that we are, we have not really been able to justify our participation in the ongoing FIFA World Cup. Because if you look at the match that we played against Colombia, I think that in the 4 matches, it has been our poorest match, because I don't understand why we could play for 90 minutes and not have even a single shot on target. I don't remember the last times that the Black Stars went into a match and did not have a single shot on target. I don't know whether it is the ineffectiveness of the players, the ineffectiveness of the attackers that we have, or it is a restraint that is placed on them by the tactical idealism of the coach. Because I have always believed that in the first match we played against Panama, we were overly defensive, because if we are playing against Panama and we are overly defensive, how are we going to fare subsequently? Against England, the same thing, we were defensive, we got a point in that match. Against Croatia, the same thing. But you see, when you are in the group stages, how you play is different from the way you play in the knockout rounds. In the knockout rounds, drawing the match is not going to happen, because you would have to win, or you would have to take the game into extra time. And at the end of the day, I think that both the technical team and the playing body were that poor. We did not come to the party. Colombia dominated from minute 1 to minute 90. They dominate every facet, every sphere of the game. Defensively, they were solid. In their midfield third, they were solid. Going forward, they were solid, because if you look at the enormity of chances that they were able to create, it just tells you how shambolic the Black Stars were on the day. Because I do believe that either you win or you lose a match, but we shouldn't have lost a match in such a fashion. It just describes how poor we have been. And a lot of people are not going to criticize the technical team, because we all know the problems that we faced, the problems that we had prior to the start of the tournament. The fact that the substantive coach and his subordinates were dismissed, and then Carlos Queiroz was brought in to steady the ship and then take the team to the World Cup. So on the whole, to me, I would say that qualifying to the 130 to the round of 32, it is not an achievement, because what we have been able to do in the past World Cups is telling. So we should have at least progressed to the round of 16, which to me, I think that it was within our reach. But at the end of the day, our performances on the day did not make it possible for us to qualify. But another problem that I had was that, yes, Atizigi did put in an incredible shift. He did make a couple of saves, but how he was able to not organize the defense. Because if you look at the match against Colombia and the matches that we played against Croatia, England, and Panama, especially the second half, the rate at which we were conceding chances were a bit lower compared to the match against Canada, to the match against Colombia. So it just tells you that, yeah, even though Atizigi did put in a great shift, his command of the defense, the telepathy, the understanding between him and the defensive setup was not there. I am not going to blame him for that goal, because there's absolutely nothing he could have done. There's absolutely nothing he could have done about that goal. But I find it difficult to even understand or comprehend the reason why Atizigi was imposed in the first place. Because if you look at the performances of Benjamin Asare in the match against Croatia, in the match against England, and in the second half against Panama, I think that he deserved to have started the match against Colombia, because he has indicated, he has shown by his performances that he should have manned the post. I am in no way saying that Atizigi is the cause of our defeat. Absolutely not. Because he did play well. A couple of saves he made, even though I think that for a top goalkeeper, those were routine saves. But at the end of the day, I would say that understanding between the defensive setup and the goalkeeper wasn't there, leading to the creation of enough chances for the opposition. And also, if you look critically on our flanks, it seems like the players did not understand the role, because if you want to be in the defensive shape, then it means that you have to lock in the spaces. You make it difficult, you make it practically impossible for the opposition's attackers to run, to find spaces and then run in behind your defensive setup. But if you are playing in a defensive shape and the opposition is finding lack running in behind your defensive shape, then it means that you are not set up well. And at the end of the day, it was the same thing that led to the goal, because if you close the spaces and then you allow them go wide and they are able to whip in the cross and then a tap in from the back post, what were defenders doing at the back post? Because as a lateral defender or as a central defender, the player you are marking, you have focus on them. But the moment you lose concentration, especially when you are deep in your own defensive setup, it's going to be cataclysmic. It's going to lead to the creation of chances and possibility of a goal against you. And that's exactly what happened in the match against Colombia. So I would say that on the day we were not effective. But you see, one thing that is very telling, if you analyze the matches that we have played critically in this tournament, you realize that we don't tend to score goals. We don't have goals in this team. So it tells you that should we concede early or should we concede first, it's going to be difficult for us to come back into the game and probably win. If you look at the match against Croatia, we were able to come into the game by equalizing the goal, but we still went on to lose because we considered the game. So it just tells you that we were not creating enough. So I was scared, because should we concede early or should we concede first, it would be difficult for us to come into the game. If we were supposed to be creating chances, then that wouldn't have been a problem. It was justified at the end of the 90 minutes that we did not even create a single shot on target. And to me, that is very upsetting. That is very, very upsetting, because the Black Stars have never played this poorly. And note, even in 2006, the first time we went to the World Cup, we played against Brazil and we dominated possession. We played against Brazil and we were flamboyant. We were expansive. We were able to attack them. You understand? But I think in this World Cup, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that going forward. But another thing that I think that we have to discuss is the coach going to stay to rebuild? Does he have the energy? Does he have the desire to want to stay with the Black Stars and then build towards the next African Cup of Nations? Or we would have to go in for another coach with a different set of ideas, with a different set of mentality, where he's also going to bring in his own players? These are questions that we need to be asking the GFA, because since now we lack direction, we lack purpose, we lack focus, we lack vision. What is the plan for the Black Stars now after we have been bundled out of the Black Stars? And now also the caveat is that that the coach was not given any tangible target. He wasn't given a target that go to the World Cup and then probably get to the round of 32 or round of 16th or the quarterfinal stage. And I do understand because of the way he was brought in, but Ghana should not. You see, my problem is that Ghana is not a middle when it comes to football. You look at the way Cape Verde played against Argentina, and Cape Verde is not a powerhouse when it comes to football. But look at the way they played in this tournament. They held Brazil to a goalless draw, and then they went toe-to-toe against Argentina. It took an own goal for Argentina to qualify versus Cape Verde. So it just tells you that when you have stars, when you have players who are playing at the highest level, and the technical team being led by one of the most experienced coaches in this tournament, the way we played was not good at all. To be sincere, because if we had gone out there and attacked Colombia, if we had gone out there and played an attacking football, and then we get beat by 1-0, I would have been happy. A lot of Ghanaians would have been happy, because that is how we have played. That is how Ghana is known to play. If you look at some of the memorable matches that we have played in the world, look at the match we played against Brazil in 2006. We were beaten by 3-0, but the Ghanaians were happy. Why were Ghanaians happy? We were flamboyant, we attacked Brazil, we took possession from them, and people were surprised that we could take the ball away from Brazil, even though our inexperiences cost us in that game. And then you look at the game we played against Uruguay, where we lost by penalties. You look at the way we attacked Uruguay in the quarterfinals of the 2010 World Cup. Look at the way we attacked Uruguay. That is the way Ghanaians want the Black Stars to be playing. You look at Brazil 2010, the way we played with Germany. We were not defensive. We were not overly defensive. We attacked Germany, and at the end of the day, we drew 2-2. So it just tells you that this is the exact opposite. The 2026 World Cup is the exact opposite of how Ghana has played in the proud tournaments. And to me, going forward, I would say that we have to dispense with Carlos Queiroz, bring in a coach who plays attacking football, because Ghana is not known to be a defensive team. Ghana is not known to play football at the back foot. No, we have quality players, and when we get a coach who understands that this is whom we are, we play on the front foot. I think that we are going to do very well, and we have quality coming up. We have young players who, when given the opportunity and the chance to be a part of the Black Stars, are going to show what they are made of. And secondly, I want to add something to it. The GFA has to make a conscious effort to make sure that they develop the Ghana Premier League, because I don't understand why we should be going to tournaments and our best players in the local league are not even given a thought to be a part of the Black Stars. Then it means that the league we are running here is shambolic. Then if the league is shambolic and unprofessional, then we should cancel this and stop playing football in this country.